I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Oh, it's been pinched! It has been pinched, and it's the Rocket, isn't it? It's Jensen!
It's scored! Hutching Huddersfield will surely be going to Wembley!
It's going to go all the way!
It's going in for the Giants!
He's deceptively quick for a half-back. Is he going to go all the way?
They've got the numbers out wide here of Huddersfield. They have got the man out wide. It's McGilvray for the corner, and McGilvray is in.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Talking with Giants podcast. With temperatures soaring, the Giants fans in Huddersfield are unsure whether it's the Giants' form or the heatwave causing sleepless nights. Aidan Sezer, who last season provided the entertainment to the Giants' cause, has left for pastures new, but extra value has been found and the price is right as young Will makes his mark. I'm Matt Shaw, and with me this week is Nathaniel Wood. Jake says he's got to pop out to work, but rumour has it that he's currently sat in the cherry tree with a strawberry daiquiri. And Josh is in Blackpool avoiding the hen parties at the World Match Play of Darts. So, good evening, mate. Nat, how are you doing? And just me and you flying a romantic duo this week.
Yeah, good evening, Matt. Hope you're well. Good to be on again. Pity Josh is working and Jake's had to pop out of work. Sure we'll all miss Jake's ramblings, but I'm sure we'll hear him later on. Just
not as hardcore as us, mate. That's the problem. Right, so Huddersfield Giants 12, Wigan 14, a close-fought game. Two very depleted teams going at it. Your thoughts on the game, Nat?
Yeah, I agree. Two depleted teams, and to be fair, watching it, you could probably tell both teams were a bit depleted after they missed Jackson Hastings. Also, we're missing a lot of our senior in arse and main positions too, so you could probably tell that the way the game. I thought the first half were a very good arm wrestle. I think we went in 6-0 down, didn't we, at half time? Probably a bit unlucky, to be honest. I thought Jake Wardle tackled in the air for them to get the ball back, and then probably poor defensively from our point to let Mitch Clark score from that position. We know he carried 4 or 5 men over the try line, and that's not set to win Super League, so I'm sure the boys looked at that and were probably disappointed that if obviously something went right because Leroy were screaming at ref and having a word with him after the try were given, so I presume that was for the tackle in the air. So I thought we were a bit unlucky to go in 6-0 at half time, to be honest. Second half, you probably always knew coming out that we had to score first. Bit of a slap penalty to give away to make it them to put them 8-0 up, and then we did get it back with young Will stepped up and he looked dangerous all night, to be fair to me. He looked really good on his first start and it didn't look like he was nervous or scared, and he made an error early on and I just worried for him a bit. I thought, is that error going to play in his mind all night? And it didn't, and he stepped up and put it behind him and got on with it. And he got man of the match on the night and he probably deserved it, to be fair.
Just tell us about him, Nat, because you've obviously seen quite a lot of him throughout the academy as well. He's, his dad Leon was in the commentary box as well, and he managed to keep his cool when Will scored his try as well. You know, he was cool, calm and collected was Leon. He was like, yep, nice one. And it was great to see, actually. So Will, for me, the way he runs with the ball, he doesn't just run in a straight line. He zigzags. He looks for gaps. He's really exciting. And you can see the masses of potential that he's got. Ball in hand and running. And you look at us losing Lee Gaskell next year, and Will Pryce stepping up in that way shows that you don't really need to go out and sign somebody to replace Lee Gaskell, because you've got someone who can play fullback and in the halves there as well and do that job and pop in where necessary. And I actually thought him and Ollie Russell actually got on quite well together in the middle.
Yeah, 100% about Will. First time I saw him play with a young 15-year-old at Scholars on a Wednesday night, and straight away, the rumours go around that it's Leon Pryce's son's playing, and obviously all eyes are drawn to him, and you wouldn't think that his dad was an ex-pro, and an ex-pro as good as what Leon was, because he just got on with his game and played his game, and every game he's probably in the top 3 for the scholarship and the academy now that's playing there. He's probably in the top 3 players of every game. Plays fullback, plays arse, none of it bothers him. He's got a good kicking game, and I'm just glad to see him carry on doing that in the first team, because it's a big step up, and I think he was probably blowing a bit towards the end. His Super League's a lot quicker than the academy, and you could tell it were taking his toll, but Watson couldn't take him off because he was probably the only one that looked like creating something as well. And that says a lot about him. He's got a massive boot on him for an 18-year-old. He's got a cool head. He's got a good father figure there that's been around the game and knows about it, which will help him. But for me, look, my plea is to Ian Watson, Richard Fewers, Ken Davey, anyone that's listening to this who is inside the Giants, give this lad what he wants. I don't care what you want. Make him the highest paid youngster you've ever given anyone at Huddersfield Giants. Because with these performances putting in now, it's not going to be long before, let's face it, the bigger teams of your Leeds, your St Helens, your Wigans are going to come sniffing around him and offering money. He is that good. He's the future of this club, and we should be building our team around him for now. I'm not saying he should be playing first team every week because it's a big ask at 18-year-old. He's probably still got a year left in the academy, I think, so pull him in and out of the academy into the first team. But like you say, there's no need to go and buy someone from Australia to replace Lee Gaskell. Will Pryce is ready to do that job. And in 2 years' time, he should be our starting half and looking to build a squad around him. Give him a 10, 15-year contract if you can. Give him what he wants.
Lifetime.
Yeah, if you really want to spend a load of money on someone, give it him. Because I said it a couple of weeks back before he made his debut, and I've said it before, the one person in the academy, this lad is special. There's not just him, there's another couple I think is special from our academy who will go to the top. But, yeah, you've just got to try and keep hold of him because I'm sick and tired of seeing how youngsters leave the club.
Yeah, I was just going to say, mate.
We need to start keeping hold of these, but I can't blame these lads for leaving.
No, if we lose Will Pryce in 2 years, like we've lost Jake Connor, we've lost Darnell's leaving, and all the other ones that have gone on cruise, onto pastures new. If we lose him for nothing in 2 years and we sign another Matt Frawley to replace him, at some point the club has really got to build around this core of exciting young players that they've got. They did that back in what we're looking 10 years ago with Jerry, Leroy, etc. They made those guys the main focal point of the squad, and and we went on to do some really great things over the next 5 or 6 years. Okay, we maybe got to one cup final, but a lot of playoff jaunts there as well, and a league leaders shield, and we've seen what happens if you can build your entire product, if you like, around a good core of players. And I think Will Pryce is definitely in that bracket of what they were 10 years ago. So I'm with you, mate, 100% all the way. Will Pryce is the future of this football club, or rugby football club, if you like. Just make sure we do not lose him cheaply and too early in the future. So that goes out to anyone who listens, Earl Crabtree, anybody, who wants to listen, Mr. Helliwell, Ken Davey, Richard Thewlis. Come on, let's get this lad signed and make him the future of this football club, the rugby football club. I keep saying football club, it is a football club, but, people get confused by this,
You've got to make him feel wanted. Make the lad feel wanted.
If he listens to this podcast, he'll feel nothing but wanted, but, smash him play.
He probably hates me for how many times I tweet about him if he sees it, but
probably muted you.
I'm passionate about this club, and I want to see us do well. And like I say, I don't want to see this talented youngster go to waste, and I want him to be playing in Claret and Gold for years to come. Going back to your point with, like you say, your Jake Connors and your Cruz leaving, I think the big thing now is that we need to find a way of getting back into these playoffs on a regular basis. You can't blame these lads for leaving. Jake Connors left and won 2 Challenge Cups, or Challenge Cup. Cruz Lehman's left and won a Challenge Cup. No wonder people like Darnell are saying, well, I want to leave, because it's not all about playing for your hometown club. It's not all about earning money. It's about winning trophies if you play sport in a professional sport. So they obviously believe that they're going to win trophies elsewhere than we're not. We need to start getting that belief part of it. Like you said, when Jerry and Leroy and Bruno all came through, you could see us building to somewhere where we might actually win a trophy. We need to start building that now, so people like your Jake Warders and your Will Pryces think, you know what, I can win trophies on Huddersfield, and that's why I'm going to stay. So somehow Watts going to turn that around, and I'll back him, and I really do think Watto will turn it around for us.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, and also as well, Robson Stevens came through and played, didn't he, as well? So there's another one there as well, mate. That's coming through, and there's just more than him as well, isn't there, coming through at the minute? And James Gavet is obviously, it's quite strange, wasn't it? The couple of tweets and Instagram posts intimating that he might be off. Then he was training, then he's off again. From what we understand, he's leaving the club, and I'm sure we both say thank you to James for his efforts over the past couple of seasons, and wish him all the best in moving back to the land of Australia. He's from Australia, isn't he? Sort of that
Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah, it's
one of
from down there. I was trying to say, the Antipodean lands, but so all the best to James Gavet as well. But where he leaves, there's more opportunities again, isn't there, Nat, for other young forwards that we've got coming through.
Yeah, I just want to echo your comments to James Gavet. Thanks for everything you've done. You're probably coming for a lot of stick on here from Jake. I know Jake wasn't the biggest fan, but look, for me, he's always been a solid player. Yeah, he gives a few penalties away, and I felt a bit sorry for him in the way that the club hyped him up so much that he won't actually do what the club hyped him up to be. But for me, he's always been a solid player, and he probably had his best game for us against Wigan.
Yeah, decent. Yeah.
It's probably sad to see him leave after his best game, to be honest. But yeah, look, whatever the reasons are for you going home, it's in your time coming to Huddersfield to an end. It's sad to see it's been cut short for whatever, and good luck to yourself and your family back home. But like I said, with him stepping out, there's going to be more chance. The lads like Ronan Michael and Robson Stevens to get a go, and these two lads are dying for chances. They want to play for Huddersfield, and I keep saying it at the minute with also what's going on with Kenny and Aidan Sezer now leaving. I just want 17 lads on that field who's going to fight for the badge and want to play for this club. And you know what? If you're good enough to win games or you're not good enough to win games, I don't care. I'll carry on going to support you. If I've got 17 lads on that pitch, I know who's fighting for this club and fighting for this badge. So yeah, Robson's a good lad. He's a big lad too at such a young age, and the first drive he made in Super League, his post contact meters were just up there with Josh Jones off that one drive. So, well, something to build on for him, and hopefully he gets another few games this year to show us what he can do. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting prospects coming through, and Andy Kelly and that are doing a great job there. So hopefully they keep that up, and we'll see some more debuts this year.
And Ronan Michael's an interesting one because he came over, didn't he, from Ireland, on that trial. And I think when you look at the game more as a whole, there's a lot. I won't say there's a lot at stake with Ronan Michael, but he could potentially open. If he becomes a regular in Super League, that can open so many doors into an untapped market in Ireland as well, kind of, because rugby league's not massive at all over there, and all of a sudden, if they see someone from Ireland, not a heritage player, but somebody who's born and bred in Ireland, making their mark, all of a sudden that could open a little corridor, and we might see more and more coming into the game. That can only be good for Super League, especially with the small sort of talent pool that we've got.
Yeah, definitely. When Ronan first came over, he actually stayed with me. So when he came over with his 6 weeks with the bunch of other lads, he didn't. But when he came over for his trial on his own, he actually stayed with me, and he stayed in my spare room. So got quite close to him. He's a good friend now, and he's always something that I'll keep an eye on, with or without Giants. We speak regular, weekly. And I know he's dying for his opportunity in the first team this year. And look, like you said, I know how passionate he is about rugby league in Ireland too, and how much he'd love an Ireland team in our system over here, and more Irish lads coming over to get chances. And like you said, if he can make it, then it opens so many doors for young Irish lads to start believing, rugby league, it's not all about rugby union. Rugby league could make it over here, and he wants to drive it. He's like, you could ask him, and he'll so modest that he won't say it, but he's probably so famous back in Ireland for what he's done, and everyone in Ireland knows the name now from him, because it's an incredible story. If you actually listen to his story of how much he's give up to get over here, to give this a go, and to make it work, is incredible, and nothing but praise for the lad. I really haven't. Like I say, he's a good friend now, and we'll always stay in contact regarding, like I said, personally, because we have that bond as such as friends. I hope he gets his chance, but look, Robson deserves his chance. Aidan McGowan's in squad again for this week. He deserves his chance. Fenton Rogers and Kieran Rush, they were in squad last week. They deserve the chance. So, look, all of these lads, just give them the chance. Let's stick with them. I know how good they are. The club know how good they are. Just give them a chance when they get a chance, please, and they won't let us down.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that over the coming weeks as well. Without Josh here, it's fallen upon me to do the stats from the game. So thanks again to Eddie over at fififofom.co.uk who puts together these very, very handy stats. And the star players really for Huddersfield Giants are against Wigan. Luke Yates is the standout, really. Luke Yates, Josh's favourite player. Well, Josh Jones, isn't it? I think Josh has got two favourite players, Luke Yates and Jones. But 127 metres made, 42 tackles, 15 carries, 100% tackling accuracy as well. Luke Yates continues to impress, doesn't he? Sort of in the heart of the field there. Nathan Peets, also showing up quite well. 51 tackles, 10-metre average gain, 98% tackling rate as well. And, of course, Will Pryce is obviously going to be in there. He made 109 metres, 9 tackle busts, which is probably the most interesting point. You know, I've been on here banging my head against a brick wall saying we don't make enough yards and our metres, whatever, metric, imperial, whatever you want to do. We don't make enough, you know, up the field. And, you know, you've got someone who's come in, 18 years old, 9 tackle busts, excellent. Nathaniel Petteru as well, 6 tackle busts, 4 offloads. And Ashton Golding made the most metres with 147. So, you know, we looked a little bit better this week. And in terms of your actual meters made as well, okay, Liam Farrell, who had a good game against us, you know, your hands up, he showed up very well, did Liam Farrell. Him and Liam Marshall were the top meter makers with 175 each, but Ashton Golding, Leroy and Luke Yates then, you know, come in with the top 5. So you can see in terms of the game, the stats say that, you know, this is a much more even game, and, you know, and the top tackler in the entire game was Nathan Peets, with Oliver Partington actually matching him with 51 tackles. So you can see a very, very even game, and maybe it's just the penalty which has just shaded it in Wigan's favour, you know, on the scorecards and in the stats as well. So anything particular there stand out to you, Nat?
Probably the 9 tackle bus for Will Pryce. I know we've raved about him already, so keep it short and sweet with him, but 9 tackle buses as an 18-year-old halfback coming into first team when you first start, that's pretty impressive from him, so well done to Will. Luke Yates is just a standard Luke Yates performance, isn't it? That lad could probably win man of the match every time, but, you know, not sound harsh on Luke Yates, but that's only probably a 7 out of 10 performance for him, because he's that every single week. That's why he goes unnoticed, because he's just that good every week with his meters and his tackles. 100% tackle success is when you're making 40 odd tackles in a game and playing most. I think he played 80 minutes. I might be wrong, but it's pretty impressive. I like what I see from Nathan Peets and the other lad from Lee. I'm definitely looking at keeping Peets if we can. Good to see Cunningham back this week, maybe just to give Peets a breather. You know, we're paying his wage. Cunningham, we might as well play him if he's here. And
how long do we have Peets for? Is it just an end of season deal, or is he here next year as well?
Yeah, just to the end of the season. So he's here till the end of the year, and if he keeps playing like that, then I'd be no worries if what I was on the phone to Derek Bowman and saying, you know, what do you want? You know, how can we get him to come over here? Because I've been very impressed with the 2 games against Wigan. He's just having a lot of experience, and his experience probably helps Ollie Russell and Will Pryce in the arse, to be honest. I thought we were actually unlucky against Wigan. I thought we lacked that leadership and that senior half just to create that in the big moments. That's no disrespect to Will and Ollie. They both played really well, and I'm impressed with them both on Friday night. But, yeah, regarding the stats, Ashton Golding, you'd expect to be up there how many times he returns the ball. He always looks to make yards when he returns it. He's always been impressive for me, and he's definitely our first choice fullback for years to come. But yeah, good to see his matching. Shows that we're in the arm wrestle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the meters and the tackles, the arm wrestle good. We handled the arm wrestle. Like you said, just a penalty that cost us. But yeah, fair play to lads. We're unlucky now. We're proud of him Friday night. And
just on Robson Stevens as well, he's just the one carry, but, you know, average gain 16 metres from it. So, you know, not bad. Not bad. 16
metres for your first carry in Super League.
Not bad.
Not many people can say that. So, yeah, well done, Robson.
Right, so we'll move away from the stats. And, you know, we touched upon it a bit earlier, but Aidan Sezer has joined Leeds Rhinos. Disappointing for me personally. I'm a big fan of Aidan Sezer. I thought he was fantastic last season. Really, really top-class player for us. And I think he'll go on to do very, very well for Leeds as well. The only thing that felt a bit wrong about it, in this is just my personal preference. I'm not saying this is wrong, but this is just for me. It just feels a bit odd him going and doing an interview sort of mid-season. And I know this is prevalent throughout Super League. It's not a Leeds thing or an Aidan Sezer thing. It just feels a bit off where he's got, you know, half a season left at the Giants. Yet he's doing an interview saying, you know, how great it's going to be at Leeds. It just feels like maybe that's something that could wait to the end of the season for me. I don't know how everyone else feels about that.
No, I agree. It's disappointing. I think Leeds can announce it's signed, but to see him talking about Leeds like that when you're still under contract and should be playing for us, like I say, that's not just because of us. I don't like it when other people have done it.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's prevalent across the board, isn't it? It's not just
I'm not just digging at Sezer. Look, we signed Aidan 2 years ago, and I was probably the one Giants fan that were absolutely buzzing because I watched him in the NRL and knew how good he could be. And the first half of Super League last year, he probably showed that, and that's when we got the best out of him. Since then, it's not been too great. He's carried a few injuries, and he's been now injured for the rest of this year, most likely. And it's a shame that he never got that report with the fans due to the COVID, playing in empty stadiums. It's probably a bittersweet moment. I'm not going to say out bad. Good luck to the man. Obviously, unlike when he plays us, I hope he fails. But other than that, good luck to him. If that's his next career move, then good. Like I say, Leeds fans are buzzing with the signing and can't blame him. But I'm surprised how many Giants fans don't seem bothered, to be honest. But I think a lot of Giants fans have realised that, look, he didn't want to be here, or the club don't want him. Either way, let's back Watson, back Richard Fewers, back Ken Dave to get it right. And if he didn't want to be here, then see you later. Like I said before, we want 17 lads who want to play. So
yeah, I think it's obvious he's not really an Ian Watson type player, and maybe Ian Watson's not an Aidan Sezer type, not the kind of coach he wants. Yeah. So an amicable breaking of the ways isn't always the worst thing. So good luck to him as well.
Iron team, and there's no play bigger than the club. So look, if the club are going in one direction and Sezer wants to go in another, then the best thing, like I said, the best thing to do is let him go. So well, whoever he went to, we're going to wish him well. Good luck to him at Leeds. I hope he does well. At least he'll have a very happy girlfriend if he does well at Leeds and wins some trophies. So that's one plus side of it. But look, good luck to the lad. And like I said, apart from when he played in Huddersfield, he can fail, but I'll still boo him next year.
I think this will be a good time to bring in our mate Jake Rowlands, and whether he's at the Cherry Tree or whether he's at work like he reckons, we'll find out in a minute. So here are some thoughts on the Huddersfield-Wigan game from Jake, and he's with us now.
Hi guys, Jake here. Hope you're doing well. Sorry I can't be with you this week. I hope the pod's going well. With regards to the game, I thought we did okay, to be fair. I said last week I expected us to lose, and obviously the outcome was we did lose. However, there was quite a lot of positives to take out of the game. Young Will Pryce had was man at match for me, showed a lot of speed and strength and got a really good try despite receiving a head-eye tackle. He looked tired at times but managed to pull through and spring into life when he needed to. And he's only going to get better and stronger the more games he plays at Super League level. So that was a real positive. Thought Ollie Russell did great. He seems to be getting better week in, week out now with more game time. So hopefully, over the coming weeks and he gets even more game time, his performances continue to improve. I thought his outside backs did quite well. Louis Senior made quite a lot of metres. Doesn't really seem to receive the ball in any good positions. He's just been used as sort of a meter maker. When Jerry came on, he turned the game around for us. He got us on the front foot. And if he'd have come on 10, 15 minutes sooner, the result might have been slightly different. The disappointing aspect of the game for me was, every time we seemed to build momentum, sort of get on top in the game, we sort of just killed it for ourselves, really, with penalties and errors. And that's, an area we don't seem to be improving. And it's an area we've got to improve on going forward because, we've got some tough games coming up. And unless we beat ourselves and get our discipline right, we're not going to pick up many results going forward this year. Apart from that, I thought the game itself, it was a bit boring first 40 minutes, not really much excitement, but the last 20 minutes were quite exciting. I just wish we'd looked to get the ball out, to Jake Wardle and Louis Senior a bit earlier. Both of them have got pace to burn, and that's a side we can really, attack from. But we don't. We seem to just, they seem to get the ball. The only time they seem to get the ball is deep in our half, and don't really have, much chance to do out with it. So, but all in all, quite a few positives. The effort was good, but again, just not quite good enough to get the result. But like I said, we do have to remember it's probably the most depleted Wigan side we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years. So if there were a chance to beat Wigan, it would have been the last 2 weeks. But unfortunately, we've just not been quite good enough.
Okay, thanks to Jake for throwing that one in. You can never keep a good man down, can you, Nat? So he's always ready to chip in where he can.
Yeah, good chipping in.
Sam Wood. I think we covered this a little bit last week, but it seems a little bit strange that he's got it's a 1 year deal, isn't it, at Hull KR? That does, I think Sam Wood's one of those players where maybe he's a bit misunderstood, or maybe he's. I always look at him, and maybe this is just me putting square pegs round holes, but I look at him. He's what, 6'3". He's a big lad, and with the size he's got, and he's got good hands as well. I believe coming through junior rugby, he played. He was a half. And he had good hands. For me, I look at him and I just think, what? There's a really good loose. If he can be. Given the time to develop, there's a potential loose or a potential second row there for me with Sam Wood, with the size he's got. A 1 year deal at Hull, I'm not too sure why it's so low, but for me, I think Sam Wood is worth a go, really, from any Super League club to, I think there's definite potential there, and I think once he gets a groove, I think Sam Wood could, I don't see him as a winger, but I think Sam could potentially, make his mark if he gets the right sort of momentum going.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm absolutely devastated about this one that he's leaving. I'm probably one of Sam's biggest fans here. Like, ever since he came into the team, he played centre. I think he was a young 17-year-old against Wigan all them years ago. He's made 80 appearances for Huddersfield, and I don't think he's ever actually let us down and had a bad game for us. That's playing wing, that's playing centre, that's playing half. Second row. His utility value is something else, and he never lets us down in whatever position he plays. And he's never really had that chance to sustain one position and really give it a good crack. We have never said to him, right, you're playing centre for 10 games, go and prove why you should be our first choice centre. So I do feel a bit sorry for him. The 1 year deal could be numerous reasons. It could be that I can't get on salary cap for 2-3 years, but they've got him promised another contract after that, or he only had a 1 year deal at Huddersfield or 1 year OKR, and he reckons he's got more chance of getting game time at OKR properly. But yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't really find a place for him in the team and give him a good crack at that position, because, like I say, he's never let us down. He's a really good lad. He works hard. You can tell by the Instagram posts from all the boys on Saturday announcing leaving that he's well respected amongst our players. They all seem sad to see him go. So it's a massive shame that another one of our academy products has decided to move on because we're not giving him the chance in the game time, and it's frustrating on that point of view. But yeah, I'm devastated that he's leaving, and a massive, massive good luck to Sam. And he's definitely one that when OKR play, I will still keep an eye on his performances, and I'll speak to my mates who support OKR and ask how he's getting on weekly, because he's one I definitely will carry him to follow, because just like I said, Huddersfield lad, devastated to see him leaving. I wish we could have kept him.
He's a good lad for a Leeds United fan, so I'll give him that. But yeah, all the best to Sam Wood. I think there's definite potential to fulfil there, so definitely wish him all the best as well. So let's go on to the next game. I believe we have Hull FC lined up, don't we, Nat? So be an interesting one. One of my favourite Huddersfield Giants players of all time is the coach there, Mr. Hodgson. What a fantastic player he was as well back in the day. So Hull, it's there's no point kind of going through and saying I would pick so and so here and Golding there and whatnot, because players are dropping like flies and coming back, in rapid numbers. It's, a bit of a crazy time. What's your expectations of the game against Hull, Nat? For me, it's about blooding these younger players now. We're still not sure whether there's going to be a relegation or not from Super League, or what the stance is. The Giants obviously need to get to a level of safety, so it's about balance. You can't just throw in the under-18s and, feed them to the Wolves every week. There's a balance there. There's results to play for. So how does Ian Watson go about balancing, having a look at players for next year, making sure we get the result needed, and trying to keep the morale up as well amongst the fans?
To be honest, I think he totally forgets about next year and plays his strongest team and try and get the points for safety. If I were Giants and, like I say, all the rumours are flying out that there'll be no relegation, then if I were Giants, I'd be pushing RFL for an answer and saying, look, if you're not going to relegate us no matter what happens this year, then I'm willing to stick in your Fenton and Rodgers, your Aidan McGowan, your Kieran Rushers, and anyone who's leaving at the end of the year. This is no respect to any of these lads that are leaving, but don't play them and play these young lads, and like you said, blood them for next year. So I Giants are pushing for an answer on his relegation going ahead, because you can start to plan more if you know you're going to be in Super League next year. But regarding Hull, as far as we know, relegation is still going ahead, so play your strongest team to win the game. I think it's never a tough ask. I know Hull actually haven't played for a month since they last played us, so I feel if you can just be drawing or you level or 2 or 4 points in it going into the last 20 minutes, then our match fitness could be key here. They could start to tire. They haven't played for a month. We have. We're fit now. We've been playing. These lads have been playing every week. Good to see Owen Trout back in squad. He'll walk straight back in for me. He's becoming first team regular. So
it's becoming my favourite player is Owen Trout. I think he's got a lot to him. Yeah.
Completely agree. He's been outstanding this year when he's played in the back end of last year. So took a bit of time, I think, to get up to the speed of it, but he's there now and he's not letting us down. So hopefully, I'm presuming he's one of the lads who were isolated or had the COVID. So hopefully, this 10 days off or whatever he's had now hasn't slowed him down, because he was just going to his peak, I think, and he was looking really good for us. So good to see him back. And like I say, play strongest team, give it a go. Look, I think it's going to be another tough ask. They've got March needing half, who will kick us to death, and he'll manage that game for him. They've still got the strength for Tua Marvin, Fanua out wide, and Swift who may play full back with a pace. They've still got a very good forward pack, haven't they? So look, forward pack will go toe for toe with them. Our forwards have been really impressive against Wigan the last 2 weeks and probably before that. So it's just going to be if we can create enough chances, if we can create that. So hopefully it sticks with Will and Ollie Rush in the arse, because I thought they played well together last week. Give them another game, and yeah, you know what? I've got a feeling I'm not actually there on Thursday, so half of me will be celebrating if we win, half of me a bit annoyed that I'm not there. But yeah, look, I'm going to back us to win. I think we'll do it, and then I think we'll edge it by 4 points.
That's always I like it, Nat, 'cause you always go positive. You always go for the win, and I like that. What we'll do is we'll feed in some predictions from Jake as well. Without even hearing it, I'm pretty sure Jake's going to say we're going to lose this game. So we'll hear what Jake has to say now.
With regards to the whole game, the whole side have got Jake Connor, Josh Griffin, Scott Taylor, Jamie Shaw, Josh Reynolds, and Manuel Mao missing from their first choice 17. So we've got an opportunity. For me, I still think we'll come up short. But regards to the side, Trout obviously comes in to replace Gavet, who looks like he's played his last game for the Giants. And I think, judging by the team, the 20-man squad we've put out, Cunningham will come in to replace Robson-Stevens. The worry for that is, it does leave us really light on the bench. So I'd go with Golding, Senior, Jake Wardle, Leroy and Jerry in the backs. We've got Will Pryce and Ollie Russell in the halves. Ollie Wilson, Luke Yates at prop. Pete's in the hooker. Jones and McQueen in second row, and then Trout at loose forward. And then that leaves us on the bench with Sam Wood, Sam Hewitt, Petteru and Cunningham. We've got one prop on the bench there, one utility back, one quite small second rower, and then a second hooker. So, I do think we'll probably get outdone in the forwards this week. But, like I said last week, just be happy if it's an entertaining game where we're not getting hammered. And you see some of these young lads like Will Pryce, Ollie Russell, Ollie Wilson developing for next year. I know some people would say Sam Wood on the wing, but, for me, we've got to leave Lewis Senior on there now. He's going to be here next year. Sam Wood's moving to KR, so we're going to have to, develop the players that we've got going forward for me. So, regards to the scoreline, I can see it finishing 26-16 to Hull. Cheers, guys.
There we go. I knew that would be the case. Jake never lets us down, so... thanks to Jake for sending it through. I know he's had a bit of a busy night tonight, so appreciate Jake doing all he can for the podcast. Top lad is Jake. Prediction wise, for me, I want to see these young lads continue to blossom. And I don't just mean the younger ones. I mean the likes of Owen Trout and whatnot on there, who are still classes. Sort of young lads, sort of on the periphery, really. I would like to see Will Pryce and Ollie Russell continue to build an understanding, a partnership. I thought there were really good signs against Wigan in the second half that they potentially starting to understand each other's games. I think Will Pryce is a better defensive kicker than Ollie Russell, but Ollie definitely offers something in the sort of the attacking quadrants, if you like, with the boot. I think once they understand each other's games and get to know who can do what in what position, I think there's potential in that partnership. So I'd like to see them, keep Golding at fullback if he's fit, and just keep ploughing on. We're very close. We're very close in both games against Wigan. We're very close before that, and I think I do genuinely think their win isn't too far away. To be honest with you, whether it'll come against Hull, I'm not sure. They've got a lot of quality of Hull, but I do see the Giants catching someone cold, and hopefully it could be against Hull. But I think Hull might just shade it. But again, another tight game. I don't see us getting hammered. So I'm praying for the win, but I think Hull might just shade this one just in terms of quality. But like you say, Mark Sneyd, incredibly gifted kicker, isn't he? And the problem with the Giants for the last sort of month or so is not making the yardage up the pitch and having to kick from deep. And I think that will be a Sneyd tactic to push us further down the pitch and for them to attack. But so for me, I'm going to say Hull to shade this one. Nat's going for the win, so I definitely hope you're in the right on this one, Nat. So right, any other business, AOB?
Yeah, I've just got the one. I know you probably won't listen, but massive shout out to Leroy Cudjoe. He'll make his 300th appearance this weekend, this Thursday night for the Giants. So, look, people might have said that he was done 3 years ago, but so for him to come back from these 2 serious knee injuries and still to be playing well and putting in performance, all right, yeah, he's probably not as good as he was, 10 years ago when he first came in when he was playing for England, and his game's a bit different now. He's lost that pace, but look, he's still putting in 7 or 8 out of 10 performances, if that's in the wing, if that's centre. So, look, massive shout out to him, because you know what, 300 appearances in a lot of games, and he's come back from some adversity in his career that he's come back in a lot, like I said, when a lot of people thought he should retire, he's shut all the doubters up, and I know his contract's up at the end of the year, and I personally hope we sign him and keep him, because, well, even if he's not a first team, the squad value, the experience he brings in is massive for his club. So, yeah, congrats, Leroy, on your 300th appearance, mate. I hope it all goes well, and I hope the lads can get the win for you.
100%. Again, it's a big echo chamber is this podcast, but Leroy's been a big favourite of mine for a long while now. Him, Jerry, Big Earl, Danny Brough, they're players that I'll remember in 20 years' time, and hopefully Leroy will always be associated with Huddersfield Giants. There's certain players who it would be wrong to see them elsewhere, if you know what I mean. You see it across sport, and you just think he doesn't look right in that, and I don't think Leroy would ever look right in a different shirt. I think whether. It's completely up to him whether he decides to play on. If he decides to play on, I hope we maintain him, and if he decides to call it a day, I hope we find a spot for him, in the background, or when he's ready to hang up his boots. I hope he stays with the club in some capacity, because I think the club, people like Leroy, Michael Lawrence, Earl Crabtree, etc., are the sort of moral fibre of the rugby club, if you like. These are the people that you want around the place to inspire the next generation, and to when I think of Huddersfield Giants, I think of these guys, and to be honest, these are the people that you need to keep close. In what capacity, that doesn't matter for me, but these guys are important. They made a huge contribution in taking Huddersfield from a rather mediocre rugby league club to one that was at the top of the game. So let's look at they looked after us on the field, so make sure we look after them moving forward, and that's all I want to say on that one there. So
100% agree with you. Like I say, whatever happens, I hope it remains at the club is a fan's favourite. All the Giants fans adore him, and I hope everyone who's there on Thursday gives him the cheer that he deserves, and I'm sure his family and friends are really proud of him. So, yeah, like I said, congratulations, Leroy. Yeah. You'll go down as a Giants legend when your career does end, whenever that is. You and Bruno and Jerry will go down as Giants legends, and
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame stuff is that, mate. So we'll have to start. Do we have a Hall of Fame at the Giants? The HGSA have one?
Yeah. You just got inducted into it. You were the last person, I think. But yeah, I think they have just started one. So
fantastic.
I'm sure years and 3 lads will be added in as.
And fully deserved as well, mate. I think that's a good place to end the podcast. So thank you again to everybody who listens and gets involved. When we post these things on the socials, get involved. Let us know what topics that you want to hear covered. It's a two-way thing. We do like to hear from people, and either via YouTube, Facebook, via Twitter. Just let us know what you want to hear us talk about. If you want to set the agenda, and we're always more than happy to oblige. So thanks again to everybody for getting involved and listening, and we'll be back hopefully next week with this victory song.